What'd you say?
Just my phone.
Oh, yeah, no worries, no worries.
Okay, we can start with an opening statement about tomorrow's exhibition, and then we'll take questions.
Yes, we are super excited to get back on the floor. It's been a really good week of practice, a really hard week of practice. Just a lot of questions answered and a lot of things solidified for us in terms of just character check, gut check. But I think after, a week like last week, a game like last week, we get to see if our players respond. And I've seen a response in practice, and ultimately we get to see if there's a response tomorrow night, which is what I'm looking for. When you face adversity, as a staff, as players, you just want to see your program respond, and that's the only choice that you have, and you want to see them respond in the right way. And I've seen that over the last 4 or 5 practices, and so hoping that carries through tomorrow night. And there's some hard lessons learned, and we put those lessons to practice tomorrow night. But we're really excited to get back on the floor, eager for another opportunity, and really our last kind of dress rehearsal, if you will, before this thing gets real. So like I told the players, if we need to learn these lessons, let's learn them right now while our record is still 0-0, before we get into real, legitimate gameplay. So we're excited for the opportunity, excited for our fans to get back out here and hang with us and support us. And it was a tremendous crowd last week, hoping it's the same tomorrow night. And yeah, we're ready to go.
So with Mickey, you expect her to be a scorer. How does she put behind, how kind of struggles in that part of her game?
Yeah, I think the way that any other, scorer puts it behind him is just like next play, next game. You're not gonna have a great night every single night. And I think, she's learning that this is a different level of play. It's a different style of play. It's a new system for her. It's a new everything. So I'm hanging with Becky. Like she's a tremendous player, and we're gonna need her. But I've also challenged her tremendously this week. So I think she's gonna respond. I think she's taking it personal, as she should. I think she's taking it as a challenge, as an opportunity to really look herself in the mirror and say, what do I want to get out of this year? And yeah, she needs to be in tremendous shape. She needs to be in the gym more. She needs to be doing all these things that, her and I have already talked about. And so, like I said, I'm not going away from Mickey Purdue. I know what she's capable of. I've seen it firsthand, and going to continue to challenge her, but also support her.
What were the initial things, Becky, that you felt you needed to address after the loss to West Texas?
Yeah, I think I'm growing, and I'm continuing to just mature in my coaching, because I think it's easy to want to go in there and just say, you guys aren't in the gym enough, you guys aren't competitive enough, you guys, like, you don't have what it takes. Where I think when you sit back and you look at it and you understand that there's 14 new players on this roster that have never seen that many fans in their life, let alone played in front of that many fans, that maybe were a little bit nervous, that are 18 to 21 years old, and that didn't handle that moment super well. I have to show my team a little bit of grace, and that's what I've done over this last week. Yeah, were we competitive enough? No, we weren't. Were we tough enough? No, we weren't. Those are the easy things to say and to go out there and correct in practice, but I'm showing them some grace. I'm showing them a little bit of just compassion in terms of, like, they've never been in an environment like that. I'm sure there was a little bit of nerves. I'm sure there was a little bit of pressure they put on themselves to perform and, show everybody they are what they think they are. All these things that I think, maybe a couple years ago I wouldn't have thought about, and just blamed toughness and competitiveness and all those things, which, don't get me wrong, those were issues. But we play exhibitions for a reason, to go out there and see 4,000 or 5,000 people and get the nerves out, folks. Like, it's a blessing, right? So yeah, it's been me just having some perspective on this team and who they are and what they are, and the grace that I need to show them, and also the ways that I need to challenge them.
Do you think that Samaya, she had a really good game. Do you think having played in McHale before helped her in that regard?
Yeah, potentially. I think coming in tomorrow night and knowing what to expect and knowing exactly how everything's going to go, and maybe getting some of those nerves out, and maybe, just going out and understanding that we need to play between the rectangle and between the lines and do what we do every single day in practice. I think it's going to be really good having a game under us, having a wake-up call, having a little bit of a gut check, a character check to see how these guys respond. I don't know. Samayya's just a baller. She's a tough kid. She's a really good player. So, I think that had to do with it too. But yeah, you have some players that don't handle situations well. You have some players that aren't shaken by things. So everybody's so different, so unique, and I'm learning that about our players as well.
Your coaches talk all the time about valuing process over results. For your players, maybe even yourself, do you have to sort of take a step back and put that result aside a little bit and understand that it's a long process that needs to play out here?
Yeah, 100%. Like at the end of the day, we're 0-0. I mean, yeah, I wish it was closed and nobody saw what just happened, but but they did. But ultimately, that's why we play these games. Like, I would have loved to beat them by 50, but I don't know that we get as much out of that as we did with what we got out of last week's result. And yes, process. I hate it. Like, I'm not a patient person. I just don't like the fluff. Believe in the process, but it is. As much as you hate to say it, like this will be a process this year. I want to see us get better tomorrow night. And if we win by 100, great. If we lose by 1, if we got better tomorrow night, then we've done our job this week in practice, and we've done our job as a staff and as coaches in getting the message through. I want to clearly see that we got better tomorrow night in the areas that we needed to based on last week's game. And the result, if we do that, generally will take care of itself.
When you showed them the film of the rebounding, what are some of the things that you pointed out, and then what are some of the things you worked on as far as that goes this week?
Yeah, I just went on they were nervous, and show some compassion. That part, toughness, competitiveness, physicality. Like, there is no, you were nervous, so you let the kid get 10 O boards. No. That was very, very, very clear. And I experienced this as a player too. Like, yeah, coach, I did box out. You say that in the moment. Then you go watch it, and I mean, your feelings are hurt. Like, holy cow, she just embarrassed me, and that's what our players got after watching those offensive rebounds. Those are toughness plays and physical categories that we absolutely cannot lose, and it's not negotiable.
What clicked in the last 6 minutes for you?
Like, just some things go well, a couple shots go in, our press forcing some turnovers, letting us play a little bit faster. So we definitely emphasize those last 6 minutes. Like, look what you guys are capable of when things go well and the crowd starts cheering. But we also can't be a team that waits for that. We have to make that happen. We have to create that sooner. We can't just be a team that plays well when things start going well for us offensively. And if that's who we're going to be this year, then it'll be a long season. We have to go create our own momentum. We have to go create our own opportunities on the defensive end of the floor first.
And it seemed like in both halves, it was the beginning that really was difficult, and then you guys got better maybe in the second quarter and then the fourth. Do you have any insight into why that might be?
Yeah, I think the beginning of the game probably was some of that stuff that I was talking about, nerves and environment, maybe some of that. And then I think in the second half, just wow, this team just punched us in the face, like a little bit of like a holy cow, like didn't know what to think, didn't know how to feel type of moment at a halftime. Like, we're really in this situation right now. So I think lineups could have to do with that. I think the way that we're going to play with some rotations tomorrow can really help that. And the energy kids, the bouncy kids, the kids that are going to talk, those types of things, which is all stuff that, again, as a staff, we were still figuring out in that first game as well. And we'll still be doing it a little bit tomorrow night.
MJ was talking about Helena Puello, who preceded her here as a fellow Spaniard, and based on at least one game, she seems like the similar kind of player in that she can impact the game without it necessarily showing up in the traditional box score numbers. How do you feel like she did that or can do that?
Yeah, MJ needs to be on the floor for us. MJ is like a bigger guard for us, which we don't have. She's physical. She's got a tremendous amount of toughness to her. MJ can make shots. She's got to shoot the ball tomorrow night. But she's so coachable. Like, she just does exactly what she's asked, how she's asked, when she's asked. And, ultimately, like, those are the ones that are going to be on the floor that are doing exactly what we're asking them to do, how we're asking them to do, when we're asking them to do it. She's a great teammate. She doesn't pout. She doesn't get down. She doesn't really get rattled. Like I said, she's physical. She's not going to let somebody bully her. Those types of things. Those are the types of players that we need on the floor. But I do need her to be a little bit more aggressive offensively, and that's something I've encouraged her to do the last week of practice, because she can make shots. Like, that's why she's here.
Do you think that her experience playing in international competitions and with, I'm sure, older players in Europe has helped her handle like a situation like the other night or whatever you're going to face?
Yeah, absolutely. I think her experience internationally has definitely, helped her not be in shock and in awe of like environments like this. Like we were in the other day, she's been in those, she's been there, done that, had success. But I also think playing internationally is such a different game than playing over here in the United States. So she's been adjusting to our style of play over here. So she's doing a really, really, really good job, and she just stays the course, and she's so coachable. She's such a good kid. Yeah.
Just like all the mechanisms of game day, how it worked, players' arrival, warm-ups, how you dealt with your coaches in game, how did all of that work for the first time?
Yeah. I thought it worked really well. We talked about some things as a staff, some things that we need to clean up, some things that we liked, some things that we didn't like. Coaching our staff on like what I need from them in games as well. They're still learning me on the sideline. I'm still learning them and what their value can be in terms of just all that stuff that gets worked out during a 40-minute game that you don't get to practice that stuff until you're actually, in those situations. But as far as like atmosphere, environment, staff, game day, like all that stuff, incredible as I imagined it would be. Very, very, very well done here, very high level for sure. Unfortunately, the play did not match that, but it will tomorrow night for sure.
Denaya is somebody, am I saying that right?
Yes.
Somebody you recruited to Buffalo
Yeah.
and then brought here as well. What did you see in her game in high school, and has that translated so far?
Yeah, we actually we got Denaya to commit really early at Buffalo because I knew she was gonna get P4 looks. Like I knew if she hung around and waited and like bet on herself that she was gonna get some P4 looks. She's dynamic, she's explosive, she's super super like uber athletic. If you look at her, you don't think that's a true freshman body by any means. So we were lucky to get her to commit to Buffalo early before somebody else could scoop her up at a higher level. So that's why when we got this job, I knew it was a no-brainer to bring her along. She's loyal to me, understands me, wanted to be coached by me, and so this was a really smooth transition for her, just bigger stage, better opportunity. And again, like she's going to be somebody that's like, you talk about MJ, true freshman, Denaya, true freshman, Molly coming in and giving us great minutes the other night. Like, these are all true freshmen that we've got on the floor right now. So you can think about, freshmen coming in and they're just a blank canvas. You just have to coach them and they just don't know anything. So you have that challenge as freshmen, but then you also have transfers where it's like they know a lot, but they know like the wrong stuff because it's not what you do now here. So you've got a lot of different challenges that present themselves based on like, Mickey's got 6 years of basketball experience, but like 6 different ways of doing things than we're doing them now, right? Or you got Molly, who has no knowledge of anything, and I have to teach her everything from the ground up. So a lot of different challenges with what we're dealing with from a standpoint of true freshmen, international players, 5th, 6th year transfers. It's a lot to mold together and to get everybody to understand everything in a similar wavelength at the right time.
The bigs, you talked about getting them consistent.
Yeah.
What are you seeing as far as them between last week and this?
Just more attention to detail. I think they've really answered the challenge in terms of, we need to dominate. We need to be able to throw the ball inside and be able to score from 2 feet inside the paint, like a Chol, just physical, slow down, like dominate. I think our bigs really need to accept the challenges from a standpoint of like guards are going to do their job. We're going to get out. We're going to push tempo. We're going to push pace. But now we have to have a presence. Who are we as the group of bigs at the University of Arizona? Like, what is the scouting report on us? Is it our physicality? Is it our toughness? Is it that we set the best screens? Is it that we run the floor well? Like, what are we going to be? What are other people going to say about us? And what is our identity right now? And if you don't know the answer to that, you haven't established one, which is not an option. You know what I mean? So I've seen a really good response from the group as a whole. I still don't know if tomorrow there's an answer of somebody that's going to play 30 minutes in that group. But I'm going to go down the line until we figure out who that is.
When you say Denaya wanted to be coached by you, how would you categorize what that means in terms of your style and why a player would say, I want to play for Becky Burke?
Yeah, she wants to be challenged. She wants to be told the truth. She wants to be coached hard. She wants to be the best player that she can possibly be. Like, Denaya's not like fake tough. Denaya's real tough. Like, the kid has gone through a tremendous amount of adversity in her life. She's not been handed anything. She's worked for every single thing that she's gotten, and she didn't want to just go to college and take the easy way and go play for a coach that's just going to hand her all this playing time and tell her how great she was all the time. And I think that's kind of like the reason that she really gravitated towards me, is because I was going to make her earn everything. I was going to coach her extremely hard. I was going to, get every ounce out of her, that I could. And I'm going to, keep my promise, whether I'm at Buffalo or whether I'm here for her, because she's a workhorse. She's tough. She's physical. She can handle coaching. She's a dream. Like, she really is.
Seems to be a really positive kid. Do you think that helps her withstand maybe some tough coaching?
Oh yeah, you could tell her whatever you want, direct. She just, a lot of I want direct coaching. Like, no, you really don't. Like, she actually does, So she's she's as great of a teammate as you'll find. She's as bubbly as it gets off the court. Her personality is phenomenal. But like, when it's time for business, like, coach her hard, tell her the truth, be direct with her, and she responds to that, which is really refreshing.
How did you come up with the phrase bear down, sleeves up?
We just kind of all got our heads together as a staff. We were just kind of throwing around different things. And when we thought about the identity of this team and who we needed to be this year, that was just something like we just talked about, like workman-like mentality, like bringing in your hard hat, the lunch pail, rolling the sleeves up. And then we're like, oh, bear down, sleeves up. So it kind of just flowed from there. But that has to be our identity, which I don't think we showed last week. Like, when we say that's what our identity needs to be, and that's who we need to be as far as a blue collar team, you can't give up 16 offensive rebounds. That's not blue collar, right? You can miss shots, you could score 57. You got to win the toughness categories. You got to win the discipline categories. That's being blue collar, and those don't take any talent. And those are the categories that we absolutely need to win this year. And so they say it, they've bought into it, but like then it needs to translate to gameplay for 40 minutes, right? Thank you guys very much.